Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's InsideAgameR. Welcome to Moonshine Inc. I would like to thank the developer at klabater for sending us a key to showcase you this game in early access. Now the release date for the game will be the 1st of December 2022, and this game is right up my street. I love these kind of games. Now a little bit about it. It's a story-rich management game with crafting liqueurs. If you're a business management, resource management, story-rich tycoons, and the topic of crafting moonshine, brandy, whiskey, and vodka sounds catchy, this is the game for you. Okay, so there's quite a lot of features already. There's 37 main quests plus side quests, road events. There are over 26 fermentation and distillation technologies. There's over 35 apparatus, 17 distillation stills, 8 fermentation tanks, 5 post-distillation tanks, and 70 recipes, 15 moonshine, 15 whiskies, 20 brandies, and 20 vodkas. There are over 5 regions running in the base: mountains, forest, swamps, town, and city. A rich story, 3 possible successful endings, or a game over if caught out by the authorities. A realistic recreation of the American moonshining business with all its challenges. So what we're going to do, we're going to get straight into this. Now, I have kind of played the tutorial off camera just to kind of have a little bit of a go, see what it was all about. And there is quite a lot of reading to be done. So this first episode, obviously, we are going to cover that tutorial.
Our hometown just ain't big enough for you. It's never been. You finally decide to leave and make a name for yourself in the city. But it's not that easy, is it? Work's hard to come by. The city's not a friendly place. Finally, you find a job in a mob-controlled pub. Not a dream come true, sure, but you meet people, you learn things. You remember your big dreams and start a business with like-minded friends. Still, your actions don't go unnoticed. All it takes is one tip from your ex-employers and it all goes down the drain. A police raid. The business is over. Fortunately, you are out of town. Unfortunately, you have to stay out permanently. You pack your bags and return back home to the mountains. But it's not all that bad. With the help of your great uncle and the best little sister in the world, that's me, you start a new business, moonshining. Ready to chase some big dreams again.
Okay, so there we go. There's the introduction. So Family Mountains is chapter 1 here. One day, a young moonshiner sets up a small operation in a peaceful forest in the distant mountains. Will he be able to make his fortune, or will the hardship of the trade and the police turn out to be too much for him? Time to find out. Time to play Moonshine Inc. Okay, so let's go. I must admit, I do love the art style. I think it's absolutely amazing. Okay, so this is our Grunkle Donald. So this is obviously our great uncle. Here's your grandpops, my brother's old moonshining base. No one's used it since forever, but maybe it'll be some use to you, and you have to learn a lot. Okay, still, as you can see, the whole thing is in a sorry state. We should check to see what's what. So obviously, usual keys to move around, which is nice. We can zoom in. We can actually move around here on the floor as well. You can see all the different bases that we've got here currently, which is not a lot, but I'm sure we're going to develop all of this. We've got one truck. It's all pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to go into the inventory button. We're going to go to the map. So this is the map. I'll tell you more about it later, but for now, let's check out the store. They have good offers sometimes. Right. Well, there's not a lot to look at today, but it'll do. Let's buy ourselves some Demerara sugar. Okay, so we need 50 kilos, so we're just going to move that all the way up. And we want some of the Barbados sugar as well. There we go. We're just going to take 50 kilos of that, as that's what it wants us to do. I mean, that's $300 worth of sugar. That's a lot of sugar. Okay.
Will do.
So we're going to head back to the base itself, by the looks of things. We'll have a good look at the map in a minute. This place is pretty empty, to be fair, but there should be a fermentation tank in storage. You can access it directly from the fast apparatus placement window, which is down here. Okay, so we got our first medium-sized barrel. It's not very clean, it's not very good, but you know, it'll do. So we got to set up our, you know, we get all this location in the green to set up what we want. So we've got quite a big area, which is nice. But for now, I'm going to keep it all kind of central, I suppose. We can maybe move things around later on. We'll see how we go, if we survive that long, obviously. Okay, that's a right fine smell of a fermentation tank. What a delight. Thanks to this thing here, we can transform sugar into alcohol. Now, we should hire someone to help us. Your poor Grunkle is so very old after all. I'm thirsty, but I digress. Okay, so visit the workers HQ. So this one here, obviously, let's have a quick look. Oh, we can't look at them all individually. We're going to go through them in the tutorial anyway. So the worker HQ. So you got your list of workers and recruitment. So he's a trainee at $513 a week. We're going to send him off. I wonder, can we... no, obviously we'll try and blag them a bit more later on in the game. But right now we have to pay them what they want. Okay, and we have to take the second guy. He's cheap, but he's a slow earner. I mean, he wants $600 a week. That's not cheap. But we'll take him. Of course. Okay, great. This is where you'll be able to see your workers and recruit or fire them. All you need now is here. Okay, so we can open our list of workers. You can see workers have traits which might be good or bad. When I was younger, I had all the good traits and the bad ones. Depends on who you ask. So, yeah. We can also give them experience and stuff. So each time your workers be doing a task to gain experience, it can be used to promote them to a specialization, and each specialization gives a bonus to different types of tasks. So specialize the heck out of them. Perfect, now you've got yourself a crew, we can start shining, but first let's make sure everything else in the place is in place. Okay, so what we can do here now is go to the workshop. This is where we will craft all our items. You can see maintenance and crafting. We can go through more of this later on, but we do have a medium-sized barrel. There's an open fermentation tank already. I don't know what that would be used for. I've never known fermentation to be open. Obviously, there must be something. So distillation as well, here we go. So during the adventure of business endeavor, this is what you'll have to access to lots of stills that offer differ by capacity, material, and so on. But for now, let's stick to the basic 200-litre still. So it looks like there are a few that we can get straight away, obviously out of the game, but we're going for your ABCs. And so what happens is your people create them, okay? It does cost money and time, but they actually make them, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we can install this already. We can place it down. Again, I want to put it kind of fairly new. We can rotate it with art as well. So if you want to move them around, I don't even know where the front or the back is of this still. I think that's the front. So maybe we'll put it like there. That's pretty cool. It's a little bit of a distance away. Maybe we can line up some barrels. I'm not sure how it's all going to work yet. Everything's finally ready to go. Let's batch hub and plan production. Okay, so batch creator. So we get to create a new batch. And as you can see here, let's set up everything. In this place, you can create a blueprint for the whole process. Choose the alcohol ingredients and apparatus. The only restriction, you have to match an existing recipe. You know some of them, but others will need to be discovered. Okay, which here's all the data. We're going to go through that now. First off, let's choose one ingredient. How about the Barbados sugar? Okay, let's get the sugar then. Since that's done, we need somewhere to ferment the stuff. We have a fermentation tank. We do. So we're going to click the one barrel that we have. Yeasts are divided into categories. They allow you to craft recipes by altering the potency of your ingredients, flavors, and in the first category called simple, aren't very potent. You'll get access to stronger ones later on. Okay, the flavor chart changes when you add ingredients. Each ingredient has its own flavor and the effect on the chart. You need to match the flavor of the recipe to be able to make it. As you can see here, we've got 71% match so far. For now, we don't have a match, but little birdie told me if we add some Demira, we'll get much closer to the recipe. So we're going to add another ingredient. We've got our other sugar here. So as you can see, our two sugars go into the barrel. Awesome. And you can see here, our best match was 71. When you have a recipe in the flavor chart, you can select it in order to lock it in and then make any modifications to the recipe's flavor target will be retained. So we're going to click on the 71. So if we clicked on the 71, we can move the sugar now. As you can see, we have a match, but it ain't accurate. Balance the quantity of the ingredients to make it 100%. So if we go add more sugar with one type, you can see it's less match. Okay, I didn't even get a choice there. We went past the 99% match. That's all right, perfect, all matching and ready for batching. We'll just need to add the distillation apparatus, which we've only got one. And then we can't do anything post-distillation at the moment, so it'll go into bottling so we can create that first batch. And now it's time to set up the fermentation process. So it does get a little bit complicated, but it's really, really cool how this all works. I'm still getting my head around it myself. This is the fermentation window where you'll plan the first step of production. You have set the temperature, quality, mixing, timing, and everything. Okay. The fermentation diagram summarizes the whole process, the ingredients and the equipment that you choose. The more complex recipe, the more details you'll see here. As you can see, it's The 2 sugars make the mash. We put the yeast, water, sugar, mash, and we're just going to ferment it, which is all good. You can view the apparatus that you use for the fermentation process. Its durability affects the efficiency of the production. The lower the durability, the bigger the chance you'll lose the product. Cleanliness is also crucial if you want to avoid introducing unwanted flavors into your tank. 100% flavor match will ensure you avoid any unpleasant surprises. Here we choose the yeast that will be thrown into the tank. Remember that each yeast has different requirements that will yield different results. Let's start with the balance option, simple kindle. Okay. But it wants me to click on simple power, which I don't know, that's a bit worded a bit wrong. Now we have to fill the tank by adding mashed and water. Be careful with the quality of sugar and add, because too much will overwhelm the yeast and kill it. So we need to fill the tank to a minimum of 190 litres, that is combined, and reach a 17 to 22% sugar. Okay, so look, we know we need to put quite a bit of water in, so we'll start with about 150. And we need about 17% of sugar. There we go. So that's made it a perfect amount. Later on, you'll be able to unlock tech that will allow you to modify the temperature for optimal fermentation to avoid additional flavours. I think at the moment we can't because we don't have the technology. We've got to deal with what we get. Okay, here we have the fermentation timeline. You can choose where you want to stop the process. At some points, additional flavours might appear, which are represented by colour bubbles. Try to reduce the time to 16 hours and avoid an excess of... So basically what it wants us to do here, we don't want any of these extra flavours. You can see bitter and salty, and we're going to reduce the time down to 16 hours. So that's what we're going to do now. So we can move this down. And if you can see, the total time is now going down. And okay, that's 17 hours. That'll do apparently. Now that everything is all fine and dandy, you can start the fermentation process. The workers will fill the tank and process will begin. Okay, can you see your workers bringing the water to the tank? Okay, what we will do, we'll just move that. Oh no, I can't move that out of the way. We have to set the speed to 8 first, apparently. In the meantime, I'll show you the recipe book. Okay, I want to look at my workers, but there we go. Welcome to the recipe map. This is where your unlockable recipes are going to be. There are 4 types of spirit: moonshine, brandy, whiskey, and vodka, and 3 complexities: cheap, fine, and premium. For now, you don't know a ton of recipes, but let me tell you how to discover more. Each recipe has a radius which will expand depending on the quality that you achieve when making a batch. When the radius hits another recipe, you'll get a hint about it. Each hint brings you closer to finding the new liquor. Okay, so it's your God-given duty to discover every recipe and make it a premium quality, to honour the ancestors, or at least honour my wish to try each one. Now let's check out our recipes. So we've got 16 here on the moonshine to discover. This is the recipe you discovered when you did it in the last batch. You can see all the different elements, the main ingredient, the flavour chart, and the ethanol. So our first one, it's all going to pop up here in a minute. When you don't know everything about a recipe, this is how it looks. Each hint reveals a little something. Each alcohol type has its own tab, and with time you'll discover everything. So we can close the window. So this is actually in a very fast speed. So they've already done the first part of the fermentation, so now it needs to go into the distillation process. Our workers are running around here doing not a lot. So we get to open the batch hub again. We can see here now that Kenneth is going to do the setup of distillation. Again, it all looks very complicated, but trust me, once you do it a few times, it does get a little bit easier. Now, obviously, we don't get all the help the next time round. We've got to figure things out ourselves, which is half the fun of the game. And so, distillation is a subtractive step. Each jar contains a fraction of the final product, both in terms of flavour and ethanol value. Selecting the ones you want to keep and the ones you want to discard will let you find balance between the expected flavours and ethanol content. Okay, so in here, in the settings for the distillation process, you can control the flame rate and jar. These affect the speed of production and the quality of your product. As you can see here, we can change it from high or low. We can change the sources. And this bottle chart doesn't make a lot of sense right now, but basically it will help bring the ethanol up. So we'll have to reduce some charts, some of the jars. Okay, so so basically for the tutorial, it wants us to go fast, so we're going to go to high heat. Now, let's specify which jars you want to get rid of to keep in order to achieve the desired outcome. The recipe requires 30% ethanol in the end product, so let's have between 30 and 35 here to give ourselves a bit of leeway. So currently you're at 9%, so if we take away, you can see ethanol is the highest here with nothing. If we take it all away, there's nothing. So we've got the first one, we've got 1 jar, that's going to give us 31%. But when we do it ourselves, we can, these are 0, so we can actually add a bit more. We might get some different flavor profiles and stuff. But for the tutorial, it doesn't give us much of a choice, but we can play around with this, which is really, really cool. We can make up anything we want, really. Okay, so we can now create. So we can go back to the base window. As you can see, while distillation is all distilling, I can tell you a little bit about notifications. They tell you everything that happens in the base. So you update to inform the what's new, how, what, why, which is here on the side. Let's wait until the distillation process is over. So I'm going to speed up the time again. And here we go. So they're now going to put it in here. Well, this one guy is. The other guy is just walking around, costing me money. So this is in progress. It takes a little bit of time. Now, the problem is, I've noticed, unless we're doing the same kind of batch, you need more of these for the process to actually create, which we'll go through as we get through the game itself. So we're going to need quite a lot of these, probably, but the problem is money. I mean, that cost us, I think, 5 grand. So at the moment, we'll have to see how much we earn. Okay, we're going to turn it down. It is now completed. Now the distillation is done, we can bottle the product. Let's open the batch hub again. So we're going to go to the batch creator. So again, the next step is bottling. Okay, and this is called rot gut. And I'm pretty sure this stuff probably would rot your gut back in the day. I have made my own ciders and wines and stuff before, and I'm surprised I've not died. So this is the final product. You can modify things, fortify or dilute the product, set the price once it's bottled and done. Okay, so obviously we need to keep ethanol over 30% for this. So I could add a little bit of water, which will obviously make more. Now this can change depending on quality, ethanol, quantity, etc. So the quality of the product is influenced by several parameters: the flavor match, ethanol content, the quality of your apparatus. Later on, other parameters will also influence your quality, skills, workers, and the blending of jars. Okay, so we can set prices as well. Obviously, the higher the price, might not find it so appealing. So we're going to reduce the price just by $1. There you go. Too much ethanol to match the required of the rot gut. The quality will decrease if you don't match the recipe flavor. You don't have the neutral spirit technology as yet. So the recipe is 56 match. You can see the mastery points. Yep. And finally, you can name your product. It's best first brew. So show your Gronko how creative it can be. So I'm going to keep this at rot gut, but I'm going to take away the 1. Because I'm not sure. Hopefully, we're not going to make too much rot gut. I don't know anyone that would buy it. Hey, would you fancy a case of rot gut? But I suppose back in the day, you know, when this period was going on in America, you'd probably take whatever you could get. And this is going to give us 51 mastery points. Now, this is like technology points. So let's bottle it. So there you go. We have it bottled. Congratulations on your first batch is done. You can now archive it. This way you'll be able to recreate exactly in the future from the archive tab. But for now, let's close the window. So yeah, we're going to do that in a minute, but we're going to close the window like it wants us to do. Well, having moonshine is all fine and dandy, sure, but having money is even better. Your product has to be delivered to thirsty clients. Luckily, you have just the means for that. Just remember, always be careful when making your rounds. Okay, so we're going to click over here to plan a delivery. And you can see the map currently. I can't move around yet because of this. So we're going to put Jeff in the car. We've only got the one van. It's got speed, durability, capacity. So we're going to click here. Oh, I mean, we can select the worker, choose the car. And we click here and we see we've got the rot gut. Okay. All of it's in the car because I've only got 26 litres. The car can take 100. And we're going to set our destination to the old shack. There we go. And we're going to start our delivery. Okay, so he's going to move on. Let's just speed him up. Now, you got to be careful here with the police alert. Areas will get heightened with suspicion. If the police alert gets to red, we get caught or raided, we're done for. Okay, that is game over. So you got to be smart about how you're going to do this. So obviously, if you're going to deliver to certain areas, you can see he's got 21. He's now drinking or whatever you want to put it. And obviously, we can refill these clients when possible. So by the way, you can always take a look at the given hotspot to see how well your dealing's going, which we're going to click on now. You can see the risk is moderate, and it's selling over there. There you go. People are loving the rot gut. Okay, I suppose there's the old shack. We can look at our sales. You can see here, these will grow. Revenue, all this other kind of good stuff we can look at. We can go into more detail later. So here we go. We've pretty much nearly completed the tutorial. Test your mantle. Deliver 20 litres of Poor Man's Tequila. Poor Man's Tequila is what we're going to need to do next. You can see the mission at the top left. You can unpin and pin them as we want. They can stay there for now. I'm not too bothered. And here is a mission right here. A poor soul is desperate need of our help. Open the mission's log. Hang on, let me just slow down the time because we'll be losing money. Okay, the mission's logged up the top here. I was wondering where it was gone. So, test your mantle. The local pastor is having a difficult time. It's not easy being the holiest person around. Maybe something has to lift his spirits with help, or some spirits to lift him. A drink from agave or corn syrup sure sounds swell. So he wants 20 litres of poor man's tequila. Okay, and then obviously there's Daddy's Bear. I'm assuming is a recipe as our reward. So we can open up our base, and we're back here now. So I've already mentioned the different tech and skills you get to unlock. Since you have some mastery points, let's check out the technology tree. So, as you can see here, we can unlock loads more things. So the next thing that it wants us to do is obviously mashing. And then by unlocking mashing, look, we're going to get old cauldrons, molasses, rice syrup, maple syrup, agave syrup, corn syrup. So loads of different syrups that we can play around with. I think the apparatus from the past batch is a little dirty and might be slightly damaged. Okay, so this is what we can do. You can see here, we have to make sure they stay clean. Otherwise, they do mix and make different flavor profiles, and we need to match them. So we can click on him, and he needs a clean. Now, $75 for a clean. I'm not sure if that's what we need to do. I don't know, does it charge me $75? Let's have a look. No, I was going to say, it shouldn't charge me that to clean it. So now we can go back into crafting. We've unlocked the old cauldron, which we're going to need now for mashing. And you can see there's going to be lots of other cool things we can unlock later on. But we're going to create this for $750. It did cost me $75 to actually clean. Would you believe it? Okay, when the apparatus is ready, we'll place it in the base. Obviously, he's still building it. At the moment, we can go down to the apparatus when it's ready to be placed. I think we got another one of these. We do. So we could actually place this down as well. So we can make different areas, which probably would have been better. So we could do like moonshine, vodka, tequila, is it rum or whiskey? So how about we set up the next one a little bit more over here. But what I want is another barrel then as well, isn't it? So can I go into the workshop? Let's go into crafting. I want him to craft another barrel as well. Am I not allowed to do that in the tutorial yet? Okay. While it's still helping us, we can't. So speed up time. We're waiting for him to build the barrel or the cauldron. There we go. It is now ready. Be careful with the timer. I've noticed that you have to use the 1, 2, 3 key more. Sometimes in the tutorial the mouse doesn't work. And obviously we're losing money if we're not making. So be very careful leaving that on. It's very easy to leave it on and realize that you're losing a ton of money in wages. Okay, so the old cauldron is here now. I'm going to set it up. I mean, I don't think there's any point in rotating it. I don't even know where the front of it is, in all honesty. But we'll put it there. It looks like that's the front. Okay, we can now create a new batch. So what we're going to do now is make what he wants us to make. So he's already given us the recipe. He's given us our first gift. So if we go here, we got Port Man's Tequila, which actually sells quite well. So we're going to choose the recipe. So add the agave syrup, corn syrup, yeast, and all the required apparatus and start production. So he wants the syrup. The corn syrup, and then the apparatus we're going to choose is the old cauldron, and it's the same for you. So they're going to go into the same thing here. This is going to go into our one tank that we have. Now we have different yeasts available, but we'll just go with simple yeast for now. So our match is actually quite high, so we can actually change these proportions. Let's see if we can get it a little bit higher on the match scale. Look, I mean, look, that's... I think you can't get better than 100% match of the recipe at the moment. And then we're going to distill. We got 2. So let's put it into our second one, because we know that one's already been used. And then, again, nothing for post-distillation. We've only got bottling. Let's create our recipe. So we got to set up the process. Let's take a look at the base one last time. Okay, apparently I've got to do that first. Now, one last word of advice. Be wary of the police. Our activities are far from legal. As sad as it is, the top bar shows how interested you are in the police area. Trouble on the road and too many transactions in a hotspot will increase it. If you reach the end of the police alert bar, your base will be raided and the game is over. Now, that's it. I'd love to finish on a happy note now and make your grunkle proud. And if you need anything, just check out the Book of Moonshine to see the knowledge I can pass on to you. And that's all. Okay, this is our sister. What Grunkle means is that you know the very basics of moonshining. There's so much more to this specific kind of work, which is what I'm excited for. Back in your day, people didn't brush their teeth, voted Nixon, and prayed to the moon. And nothing wrong with respecting the moon. Whereas working is... Oh, Jesus. Okay. That's where they go into their special lingo that I can't pronounce. Either way, I think it's best if my little older bro produces some more liquor to hone his skills. And that's what we're going to do. So our people are moving around. They'll be setting up the next processes once I've done it. So we're going to go into the batch creator. We can archive that for the minute. And let's set up the fermentation. So ethanol, we want it to be at least 30% for this. So again, let's add some water. I can't go any higher than that 15%. So that means I'm probably going to have to put less water in to get the ethanol up. Okay, really? Maybe if we change the yeast. Okay, I can't go any more than 21%. I mean, we're not even making 22 litres of this stuff. What about a simple blast? Okay, I know it's in the red, but can I go over that red? That is something I don't know. Wow, this is what I mean. You got to play around with this to get this right. I don't know is it going to let me do this because there's a lot of sugar. Too much sugar kills the yeast. Alright. We'll have to do what it says, hopefully. So we can change this. So you can see it's still 30% at this point. So it's going to take a few days. We're going to get some flavor profiles. We've got an 80% match. I don't think that's bad. I don't know what it let us create this. The quality would be 64%. As you can see here, it might be a bit salty. No, it's not going to let me create this. Now, I'm assuming it's because of the sugar. So, he only needs 20 litres of this stuff, so that's probably the key to this, isn't it? We're not going to make a lot. So if I put 50 litres there, I mean... this is too much sugar. It's going to kill that yeast. It's very difficult to get this right. 80% match there. You probably want that to be somewhere... oh, I don't know about this, you know, guys. The ethanol's not correct. I mean, this is only going to be putting 25 litres of bloody water in. But we seem to need so much sugar. Now, can I change that maybe later on? Apparently if I leave it like this, it can be created. I mean... I can't see this working, really. I know on the next stage we can change it again with the jars, but I wanted to make as much as possible, obviously, because products are not cheap. Okay, as we go through, I am going to craft something, which is what I was trying to do before. I think we definitely need another barrel. These already cost $500, so that's not cheap, because now I have to use the one barrel that we have. As you can see, he's now already completed the first step. He's moving it into the one barrel that we have. Good equipment. I knew you could do it. You've evenly been my favorite nephew. Okay, so we got another barrel. So this barrel I actually want to put over here. And I want, when I next set up, so this will be for moonshining. This will be for tequila making. Until this is used and cleaned, there's not much I can do about it at the minute. So let's speed up the time, because this does take a bit of time, as you can see. Look at that. Oof. Now I could set up the next one and use this barrel. But what I want to do is just get this out of the way, and then they can stick to their little areas. We might have to move this one out of the way a little bit. We'll have a look at it in a minute. Okay, so we know that our first tequila bit is done, so we can set up our distillation. So there you go, even... Okay, it's only our actual nephew. You've been grumbling at him this whole time. Well, this is a motivational grumbling, and it worked. To be building such contraptions from scratch, you remind me of myself when I was a young'un full of hope and ambition. Okay, so ethanol is currently at 6%. I know that we need to make it 30%. So right now, we're going to be taking away all of this. And you can see we've got 29. That's made it go down. You can see there's different colors. And they can all do different things, okay? They changed the quality. So we've got a 1 star there now. Oh, this is a little bit trickier than it needs to be sometimes. Okay. So we're trying to match this flavor profile. So the blue means salty. And is that red? Or is that the bitter? I'm not sure if that is... No, that is the red. So we need more salt. This is where it all becomes fun and games. So far, we're not doing too bad with those. I mean, the match ain't bad. It needs at least 3 jars. I'm not sure if we can do it. Maybe if we change the temperature to high. So now we got less, because it's obviously going to reduce. Let's see, can we do it now? So we're at 6%. If I get rid of all of them, I don't know how we're going to get the ethanol that high. And we have to select 3. I mean, 83% match at 10% ethanol. I don't think that's enough to do the... Yeah, I think we've messed up this recipe somehow. I mean, it's going to be a good match, but it's just not going to be alcoholic. I think it had to be over 30% ethanol, and I just don't think there's a way. We had to select 3. So we failed this time. These things happen. Let's get rid of it. We can still sell it. I mean, it just does say 20 litres of poor man tequila. Maybe because of the ethanol. I don't know. We don't know. We'll see how we go. The last time I did this, when I was trying a game, I actually I was doing okay. So who knows? No, I don't know which one's which. This is going to be that one. Let's give it a clean. Okay, so this is ready for bottling. Now we can change the ethanol side of things here. But look, I can't get it. We haven't unlocked spirits. So until we get some spirits where I could have added to that. This is bad. This is so bad. I mean, the blend is right, but it's just not very... I mean, 10% alcohol is okay for some people, I suppose. We better make this cheap. Nobody's going to want this. Okay, let's bottle it. Poor man's tequila. I'm just going to keep it at that as its name. And we can archive that. I want to create a new batch though. Load our recipe. Let's make some more rock gut, because I should have enough sugar in. So we know that we need that sugar. That sugar. How much? I should have looked how much we had left. Okay, I've just cleaned one, so I'm assuming it's that one. That one is for there. Change our proportions over. Oh no, it's the other way now. Okay. So we can set up our fermentation. Why am I struggling so much? Maybe I only need to make less. I mean, it doesn't really make much sense, does it? Alright, we'll leave it at that for now. There's not, I mean, actually we can change this, can't we? Don't think that's helped that much. I mean, let him create it. We can sell it. We'll work things out as we go. Okay, so we got the tequila in progress. He's cleaned that, so someone should now start making the next one. I must have clicked on the wrong bloody barrel. Wow, that's going to take a while. Okay, so let's go to the map then. Who needed that tequila? Is this the pasta? Yeah, okay. So let's plan a delivery. I mean, Jeff can do it. He did the last one, right? We've got our one truck at the moment. I've got my 23 litres of it. We need to set our destination as the pasta and start our delivery. And what we can also be doing here now is creating that poor man's tequila again. And see... So look, we do have birch syrup, cane sugar. I don't have any syrup or corn syrup, so I need to go to the shop, don't I? Okay, because that's what we need to do, is keep on making stuff. Right, so we've got quite a bit here. Let's get some more sugar. I don't really have lots of money, but let's get what we know for the basics. I get another 30 kgs of everything. I don't know if that's what cost me there on the last one making. This is quite expensive. Let's get 20 kilos of you and the corn syrup.
Will do.
So if we return to base, that's still in progress. So we've got nothing else to do but watch this guy. He's now delivered. And look, it didn't matter. It wanted to be about 30%, but obviously we couldn't do it yet. So that's good. I thought it might have made us fail. Nice, it's almost like you were born to moonshine like our whole family. That's good. Got a little bit of money in the bank. You can get rid of some of these. Let's get our next batch of tequila going then, since I've been to the shop. Let's load the recipe then. Tequila. Oh, Daddy Bear. We've unlocked Daddy Bear. Honey, corn syrup, cane sugar. Okay, for a minute, let's make another tequila, because I have the ingredients. So it's corn syrup, agave syrup, in the cauldron, into the barrel. I got 100% match into that distillation, and then ethanol, probably enough. Great. Obviously, probably is a fine thing. Okay, we know that we can't make much. I can't go over 18 here. What's that? 70, 50? I mean, we had it 10. I mean, is it worth just... Because it's still 10. I don't think it's going to change for us, is it? So why don't we just try and make a bit more? These can make different profiles. I don't want to do that. I mean, we can make it so it's a bit more sour. It'd be quicker. But once it hits 10, that's when we're going to stop the process. So let's stop it about there. It's going to take quite a bit of time. Let's get you created. So look, we're making. And then we'll try the new recipe, and then we're going to call it because the first episode is quite long already because the tutorial is quite long. But as you can see, it is a cool game. Very interesting. Takes you a little bit to get your head around. But once you kind of do that, it can be really, really good fun. So obviously, if we created more bits and pieces, we could do more. But unfortunately, money is tight to start with. So we don't want to go too big. We need to be making money. I don't think we're getting anything else from that pasta, are we? Let's have a look at this kind of first little map here. No. Okay, so we've got the local den, under bridge. I'm assuming other things might pop up. If we drive via that way, will I get what this question mark is, I wonder, as well? There's a question mark down here. We do have some mastery points, though. We could look at that quickly. How much is, like, the next thing? 25. Closed fermentation is the go-to method for most distillation, and it's really simple. You must put your ingredients into a pot, seal it, and let it brew. Big tank, closed fermentation tank, bigger. I don't know, what do we want now? I mean, for some reason these are locked. Oh, we can unlock it, but not unlockable on this chapter. So, closed fermentation. Let's just unlock it. Let's get it done. So what we'll do, we'll just sell the next batch. I mean, this might take a while. We're fast forwarding. Deliver 40 litres of moonshine made from maple syrup. We've got 13 days left for that one. Okay, that's it wants us to hire another worker, but I don't think we need one yet. I mean, they're all running around not doing very much, and you know, I think the less that knows about our project, the better. Right? Okay, so that's actually complete. So we can set up the distillation. We're going to move it to high. This is for the rock gut, and we want it to be about 30%, right? So let's just get rid of all of it for a second. I mean, not being funny. 43% ethanol. I'll kill someone, right? But that will reduce it. So there we go. Bit more bitter. And a bit more bitter yet. See, that would give us a 94% match for the gut. Ethanol's only 17% though. It requires at least 3. So is that our best match? It doesn't really change. It's not bad. We'll crate it. We can sell it. This is the thing. It's all a bit of fun. Moonshining was never perfect, I'm sure. Okay, we'll just get the next process done so it can be cooked. I've completely messed these up, haven't I? See, I can't set up another one now until this is free. That's why you need plenty of these. Okay, so that's now ready to be bottled. I think we sold the last one at Rock Gut, didn't we? So we could add water to get more, but we lose a bit of that. I mean, it's not the best batch we've ever made, but let's bottle it. Not very happy with how that came out compared to the last one. It's quite hard. Okay, we can set up a new delivery. So we've got Jeff, we've got the car. We've got 39 litres of this. Our destinations, let's go to under the bridge because we've already been up here and you see there's some heat. Let's start our delivery down here. And this is about to be bottled as well. Oh, Senior Johnson, you deliver notices to an old race car truck and just cannot stop himself from trying your wheels on it. Oh, race car track. Truck. You could tell him to get a grip. Maybe he'll learn something from this. Let the driver go crazy on the race car track. Tell the driver to chill the heck out and keep on doing what you're paying him for. Well, that seems to be the only thing that makes sense there. Okay, let's distill this. We're going to go for high. We need at least 3 jars. I mean, the match is good. Again, not the best batch we've ever made, but we're only just starting our adventure. Okay. So now... Oh, I was hoping that that was going to unlock something. It clearly didn't. So there you go. They're going to start selling. Yeah, the risk is very high. I'm hoping that just goes down over time. I don't really have many people to sell to at the moment, do we? Oh, we got this guy here. 11 days. He wants moonshine made from maple syrup. And I'm probably not going to get that done in 11 days now. So I've just missed out. But there we go, guys. I'm going to leave it there for today's episode. So we've gone through the main tutorial. Now we can start getting on and making some moonshine for ourselves badly. If you are enjoying this and you want to see some more of this, please let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe if you're new. Come join us on Discord. Come share some recipes if you wish. And other than that, thanks for watching and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.